We've looked at different types of Python data sets previously. Now we're going to look at the set data type. The set data type is very similar to the mathematical set in that you have a collection of items and they cannot repeat themselves. This is very different from something like a list where you can have the same item used over and over again. And I'm going to show you real quick how to create some. Unlike a list or a tuple where you can just use some brackets or braces to create them, here we must use the set command. And that's going to create our set object. We do that to create an empty set, as you can see very first, or if we want to put elements in. Now, you might think, okay, well, I have a set of a string here, ABC. That's going to give me ABC as a string, one element in my set. Except that the way Python works is it's going to take the string and it's going to separate it out into individual elements. So you'll have an element of A, an element of B, and an element of C. If you try to pass duplicate values, as we see with char set 2, you will only get the first instance of that element. It will simply ignore additional ones. When we run set1, we can see that. With the empty set, we get set with an open and closed parenthesis to let us know that it's an empty set. With the others, you see it's contained within a curly brace, and each individual element is listed only a single time. You'll also notice a couple other things. For example, it's not in the order that we put them in, nor is it in any alphabetical type of order. Python is going to create its own order internally because the order does not matter with the set. If I have a list of items, as you can see in this example, it will create a set from them and it'll create those individual elements. So it's going to pull it out of the list and give us the individual elements. You can see this demonstrated here based upon running this particular Python script. Here's another example where I have a string using for my set, and it's going to pull the individual elements. When I run this, notice that it had a duplicate character in it, so it simply ignored the duplicate. Also notice that it did not put them in any particular order. The order it did is of its own making, including the own space, which in this case it put kind of in the middle. But even notice that the letters that went before and after that space are simply ignored, and it creates its own completely independent order for my set. Now, here we have something a little bit different. What happens if you have a list with string elements? So let's see what Python is going to do with this particular example. So this is a little bit different. We have both a list, but the list is of strings. And when we run it, you'll notice that because it's a list of strings, it creates a set with each individual string being its own element in our set. So if we need to create a set that has a whole word or set of words in a string, we could put in a list and then import that list into the set, and that would allow us to create that whole string as our individual set element. So it's a little bit of extra work in Python to do this, but that's how we can work around the way it initially handles string when you create a set. So these are just some basic ways that we can create sets in Python.